Types of eukaryotic DNA. There are different types of eukaryotic DNA. It can be in the form of protein coding genes, randomly repeated genes, repeated DNA, and unclassified spacer DNA. Protein coding genes can be in the form of duplicated and diverse genes, functional gene families, and non-functional pseudogene families. Randomly repeated genes encode ribosomal RNA, 5S RNA, transfer RNA, and histones. Repetitive DNA can be in the form of simple sequence DNA, moderately repeated DNA sequences in the form of transposons, retrotransposons, long interspersed elements, short interspersed elements, and unclassified DNA. This is the detailed view of the eukaryotic DNA types. In case of eukaryotic DNA types, DNA can be protein coding genes, it can be tandem repeated genes, it can be repeated DNA, and it can be unclassified spacer DNA. Protein coding genes, they can be solitary genes, mean the single genes. They can be duplicated and diverse genes. In case of tandemly repeated genes, they encode ribosomal RNA, 5S RNA, transfer RNA, and histones. In case of repeated DNA sequence, it can be in the form of simple sequence repeats, moderately repeated DNA sequences, which are also called as mobile DNA elements. Moderately repeated DNA sequences can be transposons, viral retrotransposons, long interspersed elements like lines, and short interspersed elements like signs. So this is the comprehensive view of types of the eukaryotic DNA. It can be protein coding, it can be tandemly repeated genes, it can be repeated DNA, and it can be unclassified spacer DNA. Major classes of the eukaryotic DNA in human genome. In case of human genome, we see that there are protein coding genes that can be in two different forms. They can be tandemly repeated gene sequences, that there can be repeated DNA, and there can be unclassified spacer DNA. So this is the copy number in human genome of each of the class of DNA and the percentage of DNA in case of human genome. If we conclude, there are different types of the eukaryotic DNA. The major classes of the eukaryotic DNA can be protein coding genes, tandemly repeated genes, repeated DNA, and unclassified DNA.